My name is Leah and you're watching RPTV. In today's show, we'll be bringing you a meeting of the Regent Park Community Building Working Group. The group is one of 4 groups that have been set up to guide the Regent Park Social Development Plan. In the first meeting of 2023, the Regent Park Community Building Working Group members came together to discuss current events and future activities. Let's take a look at the meeting.
Ismail, if you'd like, do you want to just maybe give the advisory group report to start, and we'll see. We might, after you've given that report and people can ask questions, we might just take a break and then come back to it later. But are you ready for that, Ismail, to give a brief report?
Yes. Are you able to hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I can start, Joe.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Ismail Afrah. I am the Access to Recreation Community Coordinator. Access to Recreation is a grassroots group in Regent Park. It's originally started by residents, mothers who are trying to work hard to get their young people into recreational programs, both in the aquatic center and the community center. And our mission, our vision is creating equitable access for local residents to local recreation programs, starting from Regent Park. And our mission is activating the community to be empowered, building relationships with decision makers to change policies and regulations, and also to create new opportunities for youth, seniors, and families so that they're able to access recreation in the community. I have a few updates in terms of a project that the community building has been working on. This project is around creating an advisory body that would help inform programming experiences that community members feel around both the aquatic center, the community center, and the athletic ground. So I believe that the community building working group had created a small task group to work on that project so that there'd be an advisory body. That advisory body, that group was led by Mary Henkelman, and it was transitioned with some barriers and some difficulties. And because of COVID-19 delays, the project took a little bit of slow motion. I was able to replace Mary Henkelman in the lead for the project. I've met with both Lucky, who's the supervisor of the community center, and the manager of the recreation side, Kathy. And we have agreed to a new timeline where the community will be consulted around what it means to have a local advisory body. And we've come to an agreement that there would be an establishment of an advisory body, and we've created a timeline for that. During February, at the end of February and early March, there will be a community consultation around what the advisory body looks like. There are about 3 models of what it can look like, and they want to consult community members, both those who use the facilities and this working group, in terms of what would be the best model to use. So that's happening in February and early March. There's an expectation that the advisory body would start sometime in June, and it would meet quarterly. So I'm coming back to community building working group to regroup that task group that was initially created. And I'm asking that those interested in working on this project, that we should regroup, and so that when the February March meeting happens, we are much more informed about the model we would like to see this advisory group is made out of, and that we're part of that consultation, and we're prepped and ready for that. So I wanted to report back to you that some of these updates, that there will be an advisory body. There's an expected community meeting in February and early March, and an expected start in sometime in June. My ask to the community building working group is that those who were initially interested in this project, that if we can regroup And if you've not been part of that group and you're interested in creating working on this, to join those efforts. So that's the update I have in terms of the advisory body. Also, I have some other updates that are just related to access to recreation. I'll put that in the chat. We're looking for young people who are interested in jobs. So if you know a young person who's interested in working for the City of Toronto, please have them connect with me, and I'll put my information in the chat. So that's an update I have for you. The floor, I'll leave it to Joel if there are people who have questions or need clarification.
Is it jobs for them with Parks and Rec?
Yes, they'll go through training and supports and certified, and they will work with Parks Forestry and Recreation in the community centers and other fields that they're interested in.
Any questions, folks, for Ismail?
Is this job, Ismail, only for Regent Park youths or any other part from the city the youths can join?
The program is open to anybody, but I'm particularly working
I
with
know.
Regent Park residents, and we're also taking in surrounding neighborhoods. So if they live in Moss Park and anywhere that's connected, that's close to the neighborhood. But yeah.
Any flyer or any information so that we know we
Yeah.
can share with youths
I'm
who are
gonna-
living
yeah.
at Moss Park? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna put all that in the chat.
Any other questions, folks? Why don't we just see quickly, would anybody like to join the group that's just going to get prepared for this community? There's a community meeting coming up, as Ismail says, and we want to prepare for it. Does anybody want to be part of that preparation? Learning more about what the advisory group could be, and to come to some kind of agreement, or at least understanding with each other about what direction we'd like to see it go. Well, all right, but we'll maybe see if we regroup in another way with.
Is there anybody here from Healing for One? Because I know the youth, when we spoke to the youth, they spoke quite, passionately about the access to the athletic grounds.
But Tiha, you have a check mark. Not sure what that means. Do you want to speak? I guess not. I don't see anybody here from Healing as One. Deanie?
Yeah.
Sorry, I clicked on something, I guess. I'm not sure. Sorry about this.
I think Ferdosa want to talk. She something in chat. She want to talk for 2 minutes.
Yeah. Thanks, Ferdosa. We will do that, but we'll just go through some other items on the agenda first. Okay. So our next is Paula. Paula, welcome here, Paula, my colleague from Yonge Street Mission. And Paula's going to talk to us about an evaluations process that she'd like to let us know about and get our engagement with. So go ahead, Paula.
Thanks, Joel. Very interesting. So this group is a non-camera group. I'm seeing, except for
we had a bunch of problems early in the meeting.
Okay.
So I think, and I think other people also have gone off camera just to hoping that
Gotcha.
it'll solve those problems.
Yeah,
So-
that happens sometimes. So let me know if I'm glitching, and I can turn up the camera if it helps on your end. But thank you for having me, Joel, Walid, and Rabia. It's great to be here. For those of you who I haven't met, my name is Paula Garcia, and like Joel said, I'm part of the community development team at YSM as well. And I'm, hey, nice to see you. I've been part of the social development plan, for the last few years working on. I used to be part of the employment and economic development working group, and currently I'm focused on the evaluations and benchmarks committee, along with some other folks who are here tonight, like Dini, Ismail, Walid, Rashida, and maybe others that I'm forgetting to name. So evaluations, basically, when we first created when the refresh of the social development plan took place, in 2018, 19, 80. Okay, one of those. We said we need to make sure that we track our progress and that we have a way to evaluate our efforts, because we didn't do that the first time around with the first iteration of the social development plan. So we were very keen from the very beginning, and I say we as a community, as a group of stakeholders, we said we need to make sure that we keep track of what we're doing and that we can use that information to inform, our strategies and our plans, and that we can learn from what we're doing over the years, because oftentimes you do a lot of really good work, but if you don't collect information along the way and assess, that information, it's hard for you to know if you're making progress, how you're making progress, where, things are going well, where things are not going so well. And we took some time to develop a process for evaluation of the SDP back in 2019. It was presented to the stakeholders table in 2020. And in 2021, we did the first pilot of evaluating the work of the working groups. Some of you might recall the work that Pavitra did with you back in 2021, the first half of 2021. So we collected some information, we set goals. Again, some of you may have been a part of that. We created Google surveys and sent them out to the working groups. And we collected some really useful information. In fact, there are some good reports about the community building group from 2021 that maybe you want to take a look at some point, or maybe you've done that already. And so right now we're starting the year, and we are getting ready to set our evaluations cycle for this year. We created a framework that we're hoping will follow every year, and so we don't have to be reinventing the wheel every year, thinking about how to evaluate our work as a social development plan network. And what we've come up with is a list of steps. We've simplified the process quite a bit. So now we only have 3 steps, and it's going to be, very well organized throughout the year. We want to spend some time going through that more in detail with you. We won't do that tonight, but we want to invite you to 2 workshops coming up. So the first one will be 2 weeks from tomorrow on January 26th, and the second workshop will be on February 9th. So on February 26th, what we're going to do is spend time talking about, sort of generally speaking, why we do evaluations, why we set goals and how to set goals, how to set a vision, how to set some milestones, basically, how to keep track of your efforts along the way, and then, how to collect information, how to collect data, and very important, how to analyze the data, right? So how do you learn from the data to make, your plans and strategies, and also so that we can report back to our funders, to our supporters, to the City of Toronto, so that they can continue to fund the SDP, meaning they can continue to give us money. So we need to be able to report back to the city and show them all the good work that's happening in the community, so they can continue to support the SDP and fund the SDP over the next few years. So it's really important that we do this both for our own benefit as a community, so that we can as I've been saying, learn from our efforts and have really strong, solid plans, but also so that we can continue to get support from the city and we can continue to get funding. My apologies, by the way, if you hear my baby screaming in the back. Dinner time. So 2 workshops coming up on the 26th and the 9th. We have an invitation that will be circulated in the next couple of days. We're still deciding if they're going to be in person or virtual, or maybe a combination of both. We've heard some mixed feedback about whether folks prefer to do workshops in person or online. So we might do one in person, one online. We're going to be finalizing those details this week. But rest assured, we are going to make them engaging and fun. We want to ensure that this information is useful to all of us. So, it will be a couple of hours, but hopefully they will be engaging and you can come and learn some new skills and you can get excited about being part of the evaluations efforts. So the first thing is join us on the 19th and on the 26th of January and 9th of February. And the second thing is we're hoping that the working groups and the committees of the SDP identify folks from within the groups that want to do this work, because over the next few months, we're going to have to get together and do some work, right? So think about the work that you've been doing over the last few years, set some new goals or revise your goals, set new targets for this year. So what do you want to accomplish this year? How do you want to evaluate your work and so on? So that's going to just take a few meetings. And we recognize that, doing that with a large group is not always the best way to do it. So we've, learned from experience that the best way to do it is just get a few people from each of the working groups that are interested in learning and in doing this. You don't have to be an expert. You just have to be interested, and we'll work with whoever's interested in doing this over the next couple of months, and then we'll be collecting the data, throughout the course of 2023. So I believe that's everything. Are there any questions about the workshops? Or anything to add, those of you who are part of the evaluations committee? Dini, Ismail, Waleed, Rashida.
You hit it. I wanted to just emphasize that this is something that needs to be done. It's not optional.
Right.
I don't think we really got that across well last time. So, when we did those surveys, the response rate was extremely low, because I think people thought it was optional. They didn't necessarily realize how important it was that people participate and provide us with that feedback. So even though we are going to, work with a smaller group of people to support the task of evaluation, there is still a need for everyone to contribute to the process by providing feedback and sharing that information that we would be able to collect. So I think that's important.
And on that note, Paula, is it possible to put the evaluation link that we've been doing this year in the chat for people to fill it out if they're able to?
Yeah, absolutely. I will look for that and I will put it in the chat in a moment. For the coaches, do you think you want to take, or it might be a good idea to take some time now to ask folks to put up their hand or put their name in the chat if they're interested? I mean, we are hoping that everybody joins the workshops, or as many people as possible. But for the second part that I mentioned, so creating a small task group, if people are interested, maybe we can collect some names right now, or do you do that? Do you want to do that another way?
I think the flyers will be going out soon, I guess.
Is there flyers going out?
Yes, so our very own Marshida is going to, she's working on some flyers. I sent her the information today, so she's gonna create some handout with this information, and then we'll be sending them out. But yeah, I mean, if there's anyone that is interested right now that wants to learn more about it, maybe just put your name in the chat and we can be in touch with you, or the coaches can be in touch with you. But we do hope that everyone joins the workshops. I think it's really good, valuable information, not just for your work with the SDP, but for all of the work that you're doing in the community. It's really valuable information. We did this last year in the fall with another group, and they found it quite useful as well. So I encourage you to attend, and again, more information will come in the next couple of days. But if you are interested, please let us know.
So just a
Can I
clarification,
just
Paula.
add something to it?
Please, yeah.
The thing is, I guess we only have few people that we all just giving the feedbacks and we're trying to get from others. But I guess people who's in the community building, and then if they're involved in things, giving most of the thing, what we can improve and what should we do it. If you guys come and join, and I think it would be amazing. So hopefully you guys can able to come.
A quick question, Paula. Right now, you're asking the community building to tell you the team that will be doing evaluation for community building, or are you looking for people who are coming to the workshop, or both?
Well, we're hoping that everyone attends the workshop, but I'm referring to the formation of the subgroup. But maybe you guys want to do that on your own. I'm not sure how you guys want to manage that. The co-chairs and the leads of the committees basically have. We're asking that you guys help us with that, being responsible for recruiting people from your working groups. So whatever makes sense for the co-chairs right now.
Got it.
Paula, I would like, this is the problem I have with surveys. I'm just taking a look at this, and until I answer the first question, I can't go on to the next. I would like to be able to see the whole survey without doing it one page at a time. Is that possible?
That's a very good question and piece of information that I think we can keep in mind for future surveys. I think this survey in particular was created, the city helped us create it because they had a software that they could use. And so the results of that survey are going to help us. They're going to get tallied in a way that will help us get an accurate sort of a picture of where the working groups are at, using a framework that we have called Times. So I don't think we can do it for that one virtually, but we could print it out for you if you want to look at the whole thing and then fill it out on paper, and then we can enter it electronically. Would that work for you?
Yep. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Yeah. So maybe Joel, do you think you can get that printed for Sarah Jane?
Sure, yeah, I can do that.
Okay,
When would you like it, Sarah Jane?
Whenever you can get it.
All right. Okay, are you able to come to Yonge Street Mission, or would you rather have it brought to you?
Can you email it to me?
Oh, well, yeah, but not like I can't print it out and email it to you.
You know what? I wonder if we can save it as a PDF.
Just take the next out of it. Just take the next.
Maybe we'll have to ask the city. I guess we can ask Daniela if there's a way to save it as a PDF, and
Yeah, that
we
would
can
be
get that to you. Otherwise, let us check on that and we can get back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'll leave that with the co-chairs as a task to ensure that you guys, recruit a few people to work on this, and just let us know. But we do hope to see you on the 26th, the 26th and the 9th. And just one final piece, we are hiring someone to help us with this work. Part-time, it will be a part-time contract. And so the staff, in a similar fashion to when we had Pavithra, if some of you recall, back in 2021, we are hiring. So I think there was a job posting shared in December, and some of you are part of the WhatsApp group. I think that was also sent there. So if you're interested, if you know anybody that's interested, please, let them know to apply.
You start the hiring committee?
Thank you.
We can talk about that in the evaluations committee tomorrow, Dini. Yeah.
Thank you, Paula. Is there anything else that you need for us? Just let us know. Then by email, I can pass it on to the rest of the group. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good night, everybody. Have a good rest of your meeting.
Bye, Paula.
Bye-bye.
Good night, Paula. Let's just give it another try. Does anybody want to sort of join the group that's sort of helping with this, our whole group to do the evaluations of our work? Well, we may reach out to
Joel, you can,
as well.
yeah, you can put me down, but I think we should also reach out to some folks who showed interest in the past. I don't think Fareed is with us, but I recall Fareed showing interest in valuations.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Walid.
Can't hear everybody. I'm not sure if I'm disconnected.
No, I can hear you.
Sorry, folks, I muted myself again. I wasn't looking at the screen. So we have a few more things that people have added to the agenda. I think they're all fairly small. So why don't we do those now? So the first would be if anybody has an update on the emergency meeting before Christmas that Sarah Jane was referring to. And then we do the message from Fardosa. So Sarah Jane, do you want to just repeat what you said earlier?
Well, the Tridel apparently had a proposal that they would before they submitted their proposal, they would get I can't remember how it was worded, but you remember, Walid.
Is it the rezoning you're talking about?
What?
Talking about the rezoning application, Sarah Jane?
That's right, and about that they weren't going to modify it, but they would
Yes. I know what you mean. The street. They sent it back to Tridel. Tridel had and T60 had a presentation last year where the park that was originally envisioned had to be changed because they had to connect the street.
No, but it was mostly about all the high rises, and they weren't going to change their minds, but they would give us some benefits. I have to look it up what it was. It was the last.
You're talking about the community benefits conversation.
Yeah.
And they said that it would now fall under the new regime, not the section 2037.
Yeah, it's 4% of the land value, Dini. We don't know what the land value is, though.
But they told us that we wouldn't have the same interaction or involvement as we do with the 26.8 million in community benefits, that the money that would be coming through would be used for affordable housing, that Central Plaza, and something else. But it doesn't seem like the community has any say in it this time.
Yeah, well, they held out some kind of carrot, but I didn't know what it was. And I asked Ismail, I think I asked what it was too. So anyway, I'm still not very clear, but it was the last meeting before Christmas that if we would do something, they weren't going to change the whole rezoning thing. to make it more palatable. But there would be some benefits if we accepted it the way it was. I think that's what it was.
Can somebody sit with Sarah Jane and try to sort this out so she understands what it was that and where things are at now?
Well, Regent Park TV on the YouTube, RPTV, Regent Park TV, the whole presentation is up there.
Okay. All right, I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, because I watched it. It's up there. That's where I got my info from.
So did it end satisfactorily then?
Well, I don't know. I guess it depends on where you're at with it, you know?
Well, I certainly don't like Gerard Street full of 30-story buildings. So.
Like I support the need for affordable housing, but I wanted to hear more about RGI, rent geared to income.
Yeah, I know what that is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Okay, I think we've sort of more or less identified what it is that Sarah Jane's trying to find out about. So do you have enough information now, Sarah Jane, or do you have enough information to know where to find more?
Well, I can go on Regent Park TV and take a look. Yeah.
Sounds like there's a bunch of people here you could follow up with afterwards too. If you're not sure what is happening, you know, give Deanie a call or drop her. Well, I guess you're not back. You're actually sort of just here from time to time, eh, Deanie?
Oh, I'm back. I came back on Monday.
Oh, good. Welcome back. So Deanie or possibly Waleed or Ismail.
I asked Ishmael, but anyway, I don't know if you remember Ishmael, but I'll nose around. Thanks, Joel.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Oh, yeah. I guess I forgot about the update about Swansea Muse. So, and I think we've lost Angie now. So sorry, folks. But she got to take care of her kids. So Fardosa, would you like to give your message?
Yes, thank you, Joel. Hi, everyone. My name is Fardosa, and my colleague is sitting next to me. Hi, everyone. Oh, sorry. Hi. So we work for the health Regent Park Health Community Center as a community ambassador. We're here to give people information about COVID vaccines. We thought this meeting will be in person today. Unfortunately, it wasn't. Anyway, so in the future, what we're trying to reach as many people as we can, come to different meetings and events to reach people out about COVID vaccines. The clinics that happen in Regent Park. And we also offer other services, housing, employment, income support. So we're here to navigate people with those services. Thank you for having us.
Thanks, Fardosa. Maybe your colleague could introduce yourself to us.
Sorry?
I don't think I heard your colleague's name.
Oh, my name is Fazla. Fazla Abdulmalik.
Oh, hi, Fazla.
Hi.
I thought that was you, but I wasn't quite sure. So welcome, both of you. And
hope that helps. If you guys have any questions, we'll leave our number on the chat. You guys can reach out to us, and we'll be leaving some posters.
Yeah, we will
downstairs.
leave some posters, flyers downstairs, hopefully, so you guys will able to know where these clinics
happens. And we have a COVID testing on Wednesday, so anybody who's interested to doing a COVID testing, not interested if they feel sick, or if they feel sick, I'm so sorry. If they feel sick or you feel like you're coming down something, whether it's cold or flu, just come on, I think it happens on 3 to 6. Yes. On Wednesday at 40 Oak. Yeah. And we will leave our contact information in the chat, so you guys were able to contact us if you need any with information. Yes.
Thank
you for your time, guys.
Yeah. And if you have anything that you want to send around, like a poster, you could send by email, go ahead and we can forward it to the whole group as well.
Oh, that's great.
I will do that, Joe.
Great.
We
Okay.
are happy to do it too.
Yes. Okay. Great. What else do we have? I think we'll get this. So let's yeah, why don't we do the question of whether we want to go to in-person meetings? We did talk about this last time and we decided to do online, but why don't we talk about it again? See if we end up somewhere else. So question is, for our next meeting, which is February 7th, I believe, would you like to meet in person, online, hybrid, so people have a choice of meeting whether they would come in person or come online? Floor is open for people's thoughts.
Joel, does this group have meeting expenses? Does it have a budget for meeting expenses?
Well, the budget is through the SDP budget, the 50,000 operating budget.
Okay.
Waleed?
Yeah, I think we should try the hybrid model. I really enjoyed the model that EED adopted, with hybrid, whether it was food, childcare. So a lot of people who want to participate online to do so, and those that want to have that more in-person experience to do so. So I propose to do a hybrid for the February meeting. Let's try it out and get feedback from folks.
Did you say it was February 7th?
Yes.
I hope I was right. I did say that. I hope it's right. Let's remember. Yeah, it's February 7th.
February 7th. That's correct.
That's a Tuesday, not a Wednesday.
And
Yeah,
we
it's a Tuesday.
always meet on Tuesdays. We did send around an email for this meeting. The only reason this is changed from the first Tuesday of the month is because that would have been the day after New Year's, and we thought we wouldn't necessarily get as many people coming.
Okay.
And so we chose this date instead.
Okay.
Any other thoughts about the proposal for the meetings? I know, was it Fazla or was it Fatiha that wanted to do in person? Fatiha, please speak.
Hi, Waleed. It wasn't me, but I really welcome the idea of the hybrid model.
Okay.
Just like the EED, they do it. So it's nice to have this option. I think I also saw the chat that few people actually were in the building today.
Yeah.
So I think they assumed the meeting was in person. So I'm not sure what's happened. Yeah.
As long as, you know, the hybrid is fine, so as long as you can hear what's happening in the meeting. Some of the hybrid meetings when I've been online, it's been really, really hard to hear what's going on in the meeting.
Yeah. Well, we're going to do our best. That's why we're going to test it out for next month. And if we need to make improvements, we'll do so. But we're going to reach out to, Ismail, Shane, and Gail for feedback on the audio, how they secure their audio.
Yeah.
We're not going to
So
reinvent the wheel. We're going to use what's working.
For that EED meeting that was hybrid, were those that were participating online able to hear the meeting well?
Yeah. I did. I went in person and I went and participated online as well.
Do you want to speak to that briefly, Ismail? How you organized that?
Yeah, so 1 to 2 things. The first one was if you're holding it at the 3rd floor, they have 2 speakers that work with the Zoom TV, so everything is integrated. If it's on the 1st floor, what do you call it? That can get a bit difficult. So I'm not sure how well the 1st floor audio worked, but the 3rd floor meeting spaces work well because they have speakers that are integrated to the Zoom TVs.
Okay. And you can get up to the 3rd floor now without any problem, eh?
Yeah, and what do you call? I believe the chairs, the work groups have fobs.
Yeah. Ishmael, I think Fareed's gonna try to get us booking privileges as well straight. So your recommendation is 3rd floor, not the 1st floor, right?
Yes.
I think I'm supposed to have a fob, shouldn't I?
Yeah, yours is down the road, Dean. It's coming.
Okay.
You're gonna get it, Dini.
Okay.
Okay, any other comments or thoughts on meeting hybrid or otherwise? Well, any concerns with, I guess it sounds like we're all good with a hybrid meeting. And it sounds like 3rd floor of Daniel's Spectrum is the place for it. And it sounds like this system has been tested before already and we know it works. And so maybe all we'll need to do, maybe Ismail, is ask you or Gail for a run through of it so we can run it properly on the night of. Does that sound, any concerns about that, folks?
Well, I would have concerns about coming in person, but as long as I can go online, that's fine. I'm still not going out in the public in a maskless group.
Right.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, just to put it out there that there is we could, as a group, we could encourage each other to wear masks in the meeting. I know that maybe a lot of people have sort of let that go, but it is something that we could do.
If you're going to eat, that's a challenge.
Yeah. Oh, the other. So yeah. So on food, we would need to figure out what we have available through budget. I don't think that we could do on the budget that we have meals all year long, at least with the current budget. We'd have to figure out some way to do that. So can we I don't know. I don't think we could promise right now that we'd have a meal next month, but could you leave that with the co-chairs and we'll see what we can figure out? Or if you want, I think we could do it for one meeting, but the thing is, I don't know that we can do it monthly, at least at this moment.
Yeah, see, this is
Waleed.
Yeah, this is the operating conversation we need to have.
So Waleed and then Dini.
Yeah, I think when it comes to like the food and other pieces, maybe we should talk about it offline and see how much funds are available through 50K.
Yeah.
And then we could send an email confirming whether there's food or not. So I'll leave it that, and then I'll put my hand up for another item.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, because if you're gonna have evening meetings, like you're interrupting people's dinner, right? Which is why we usually do some kind of food. So I've been asking, about the 50K. Does it turn over in January? Do we get the next 50K? And it really should have been used all along for operating. So I think SDP needs to have some conversation about this. This is again the operational issue.
Yeah, so we'll get on that and we'll see what we can figure out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the same about childcare, Joel.
Yeah,
Childcare, there is a budget for childcare. We
Okay,
definitely can do that. We have a practice of doing it, and that was actually one of the big driving factors. There's a number of parents who would like to be able to have childcare, and we can't do it virtually in several different places, but we can do it in person. We can have like 1 or 2 childminders, or even as many as we need, and
we can't do it if
depending
you-
on the number of children. And go ahead, Sarah Jane.
You can't do it as you usually do it, where people just get their childcare and bill you.
no, can't afford that.
No, not if there's not if there's multiple people. That puts the budget up too fast.
I sent you an offer about
What's
that.
that?
I sent you an offer about that, Joel. I'll fund it.
Well, I think, I think when by going to in person, we don't have a problem. Of course, I'm sure people would welcome any funding too. So
Yeah, it's 1 to 5 children, right? 1 worker to 5 children.
yeah.
But it's always good to have 2 anyway. I very seldom ever run with 1.
Well, as I said, I'm willing to contribute funds for that. Because so.
Okay, thanks, Sarah Jane.
Do we need to
Okay.
book another room?
Yeah, it has to get it's got to get booked, just like the old days.
Yeah, we need another space.
Can people hear me? Am I
Yeah, we
frozen?
can hear you, Joel. We can hear you.
I think I might be frozen. Maybe you can hear me, but I
No,
can't
no
hear
worries,
you.
Joel. I think we just talked about that important piece. Did we cover the Black History Month piece or not yet? No?
We haven't landed. Let's just land on vision. Just let me facilitate, Waleed.
Okay.
Are people okay with going to in-person meetings? Let's just
I just want to know what the old days were.
make sure that's a clear decision.
Can I ask what the old days were? What's going to be like the old days about childcare then?
Meaning
site.
that there'll be childcare provided. There'll be childcare provided for participants.
Yeah,
That's
but not at home. That was what the old days was. No,
Yeah, no, on site.
On site. Sorry, Jan.
that's what the old days were.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you, Deanie.
you're welcome.
I think Joel just asked the question. Is there anyone opposed to doing a hybrid? I don't see anyone.
Hi, folks. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Joel.
Okay. Sorry, still problems with internet. So I'm just going to go do the meeting from my phone at this point. So we will have childcare, and we will look into what we can do for food. Okay, folks. Any concerns about that?
No,
And this is a hybrid meeting that we're going to have. Okay, thanks, folks. Okay, so let's move on. Yes, now let's do Black History Month. So the question about this is just sort of a question for the group. Is anybody planning any activities for Black History Month? And I'm sorry, I can't. Maybe I can. Waleed, can you?
Yeah, I can take on. I can take it on.
Okay,
Don't worry.
thanks, Waleed.
No worries, Joel. So this is just a question for everyone. If you're an organization or if you're a resident that's part of any planning related to Black History Month, please do let us know. We want to plug ourselves in as a community building working group to support those events and to also encourage folks to participate. We also want to work with the communications working group to list the number of events that are available within our community or virtually. So this is just a call to help us incubate that information. So if you know of any Black History Month event or any opportunity for residents to get involved in the planning, please let us know, because we want to also encourage folks to work together to plan events or to get involved and support this work as allies, because it's very important. And the last thing that I want to say is, I know we have Sunday in the Park as a.
Oh, Waleed, could I speak? I did want to make a comment for the Black History Month, if that's okay.
Oh, yeah. I'm not done with the Black History Month.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Point. Yeah, so I know like we have our traditional events like Sunday in the Park, which has been so well received and is funded in this year's cycle, which is great news. And I know the impact is vast. I'm wondering if we could start thinking about doing an event for Black History Month as a community building working group.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, thank you, Sugar. Oh man, step in and say whatever you need, my friend. But I think if we could secure some funding or potential partnership with the neighborhood association and other stakeholders, we could do something, even if it's in the middle of it or the end of it. It could be a way for us to get together to talk about systemic racism and how it impacts all of us, and how we could be better allies instead of being bystanders.
I want to talk to.
So I just put it out there as an idea.
Just to put it out there, there's the Center for Black TCHC Center.
Yes, we could work with them.
And Daniels.
Yeah.
And Daniels.
Yeah.
Follow up on their work that they've been doing around the anti-Black racism.
Mm-hmm.
And the TCHC Center.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're thinking about doing something collaborative, those are two partners you may want to tap into.
Awesome. Yeah, well, let's see this interest here. I heard from Sugar there's interest. That's great. But I'd love to hear from other members of the working group to see if there's a lot of folks who have shown interest and we can actually move forward. Gail, go ahead.
Sure.
Well, the question becomes, who are the Black organizations in Regent Park? Who are the Black organizations? Why is there no Black organization in Regent Park? And for me, it's not about let's come together and have a party, but understanding the impacts. I mean, the idea behind Black History Month is to educate the rest of the world about the challenges we've experienced for 350 years plus, and to showcase Black businesses, Black organizations. So there's AWA, which is a Black organization. There's an opportunity there. But as a community building working group, here's an opportunity to identify who those organizations are. AWA is doing something. I'm doing a series of things as well, but again, who are the Black organizations? Because it seems that it does not exist in Regent Park. And how is the Social Development Plan supporting Black people, right? I'm not talking from a religious perspective. I'm talking about Black people in Regent Park. Here's an opportunity to talk with those who are around at the beginning of this, before the SDP, because again, my understanding is the Black Caribbean community was here. They feel left out and pushed out and not supported. So again, right, how do we have those conversations? Shouldn't those be conversations as a community we're willing to have to face, right? How are you I don't know, somebody from the Middle East or from Pakistan who's non-Black? How are you supporting Black people, right? I don't feel as though as a Black person that I'm supported by the SDP in this community. That's been my feeling from, and I see that constantly. Right? Support is not saying hi to me on the street, but it's all the other pieces. It's tough to hear that now we're looking at it because it's Black History Month. But again, what about all the? There's also the Ontario Black Association. That's a great one to connect with, and Canadian Black Standard. That's another one as well.
Well, who used to be really active was Nelson Mandela Park School. They used to do
Yeah.
beautiful events in the community.
That's actually a great suggestion, Nini.
They did. They really did. Yeah.
Nelson Mandela Public School.
Yeah.
I believe Rabia is also the chair of the parent council, and she's also the co-chair of community building work. I saw Rabia's hand up, so I'm very excited to hear from Rabia as well. Miguel, do you want to go?
Don't forget also that our neighbor Joanne Warner has been hosting for the last 3 years events in Regent Park regards to Black liberation, Black Lives Matter, etc., etc.
Yeah. Yeah, Joanne Warner is a great suggestion. Okay.
Well said, Gail.
Gail is doing some stuff too. Rabia?
Good evening, everyone. My apology for earlier, I wasn't able to fully participate. I was in and out. So to speak of, one thing I want to mention that there's an organization actually in Daniel Spectrum, which is Women African Association. I just saw them like today, and they have, I guess they are organizing an event in February. So to consider, they have an office here just beside the room number 2. Like the rooms those on 3rd floor. So 1, 2, and then the office, small office. Yeah, and to speak about Nelson Mandela, yes, I'm the chair of the Parent Council. And actually yesterday we had a meeting and I mentioned that prep meeting, and I mentioned we need to do something for the Black History Month, to do something for the kind of build relationship between the community, or not build, sorry, my apology, how can I say this? It has been really disconnect. We need to connect to the community, because I have been here like quite 9 years, and I have seen the school before the pandemic or before the new principal, where the old principal, Jason, was here, and was more community event where the connection between, and I agree with you, Dini, was more about the school and the community together. Since the new principal, the leadership became to this school, became really disconnect. So now I'm trying to kind of build bridges again between the school and the community. So I mentioned that my proposal was yesterday to bring, maybe we run workshops or one day event where we bring leaders from the community, successful leaders who faced challenges and made it happen, who can inspire those young children, and they can look for. We need someone who lives in the community, who has been in the community for a long time, who faced many challenges, who experienced the stigma about Regent Park, not just someone came like me 9 years, 10 years or less. We need someone really from those tough days and now made it happen. Maybe an adult, maybe youth, like someone experienced poverty. And I mentioned Joanne, because Joanne is a fantastic example of women who broke the stigma, poverty, and many other things. She was raised by a single mom. Her stories always inspire me, and always I tell my kids about where you can get out of this. There is nothing can stop you if you have that passion. If you are passionate about something, you can make it happen. So when people have different challenges, you don't need to be a child for a single mom or a single parent, or no. Sometimes poverty, we all face poverty. Space, myself now, access to space is very hard. As majority of you know that I'm in very small space and I need to move out. So the kids need to see people who made it happen, who faced many challenges and they became successful. They achieved their goals and their dreams. So I mentioned Joanne, I mentioned other people. And of course, like when I shared this, they were like, oh, we're gonna bring speakers from the TDSP. I'm like, no, we didn't need the TDSP. We didn't need people who are listed there. We need people from our street, people who go to the same grocery store like us, people who can see in the park, people, neighbors and siblings of our friends. This is what we need. So we need those kids to see someone they know. And then, of course, after the back and forth, they were like, okay. So I would love, like, if we can do something, we bring people, and we as a community, we present, we come, we join those events. Like this workshop, an event, I'm really looking to have something maybe 6 to 8 after like nighttime, and people can come from the community, and we have, a discussion about that, and people share stories, and yeah, I'm really passionate about this.
Thank you, Rabia, for your passion. Really, really appreciate what you said and the work you're doing to make sure that the relationships between our schools, our parent council, and the SDP and what's happening is strong. Really appreciate you, Rabia. Thank you. Tauhida, you want to go next? And
Yes.
then we've got Joel.
Yeah, just I would like to share that from TNGCS, we are also actually planning to observe Black History Month. From my city department, we are planning to have some kind of workshops just to, let people know about the contribution of the Black people, to let them know that how their contribution actually impacting the Canadian system and Canadian economy and overall the society, those things. So that's still we are planning. And from our other department, there are other more programs. So I definitely will share when everything will become to me with this
Thank you,
group.
Tauhida. And Tauhida, if there's opportunities for residents to join the planning, please let us know so we can circulate that with the membership of the Community Building Working Group. And when the details are finalized, please email it to us so that we could share it to as many people as possible.
Yeah, sure.
And,
sure.
and please thank Morris and the senior leadership of TNG for doing a great job. I think we got Joel next.
Yeah, I wanted to also, a couple things. One is share something from Yonge Street Mission. It's not a planning opportunity, but it is an opportunity for if anybody's interested in designing a poster on the theme of Black History Month, celebrating Black history and Black futures, because we also want to talk about where the Black community is going in the future. That's part of the language that we're using at Yonge Street Mission. We have a call out for those who would like to do that, and those posters will go up in buildings around Yonge Street Mission, and that'll be part of the activities that we're doing to celebrate Black History and Black Futures Month. So that's anybody's interested in doing that, please you can just contact me. And Waleed, would you mind putting my email in the chat, please? jklassen@ysm.ca. Thank you. Sorry, I think I might be able to do it, but it's a bit complicated on my phone. So that, and then the other question I have is, it sounds like there's some interest in organizing an event through community building, or there's also sounds like there's several different things going on that members of community building are doing. And another option might be, I wonder if it might be to either support them and help them to plan, or whether we'd want to do something separately as a group.
Rabia, you want to respond to that? Put your hand up.
Yeah, thanks, Waleed. Thanks, Joel. I guess I mentioned that in our meeting when we, as co-chairs, I would say here's where, like, this is the mission and the goal of this group is to build relationship, to establish, if there is no before, to connect people together. And I guess this is one of the examples where school, it's very important. Those kids are the next generation. So those kids will be teenagers soon. So we need to do something that to connect them with us. So as a community building, working group, we need to do something as a group. We need to establish that in the school. We need to adopt it, and this it's an idea, and it's just thought. This is my feeling. Like, we can do this, and I mean, like you could disagree, but just I thought I'm thinking this would be a good what's called a good start to show that, you know, like even when parents, and I told them about community working group, we're like, what is this? So people, it's also an opportunity to build relationship and to recruit people to our working groups, all of them, not only ours, like the SDP plan. So when people they see us there, we belong to SDP and we can tell them, and so we can have more people to come and more people to engage. So there are, I mean, many opportunities in this. It's not only just bring people to talk and that's it, but also an outreach and to get people to engage, you know, and also to tell them about what's going on in the community.
Well,
so
you
I
know
guess
what?
Sorry?
A lot of people too that are in the community today don't realize that Nelson Mandela came here to Regent Park to name that school.
Exactly. And I told them, I said, it's going to be shame on us if we do nothing in February. And the school, here is the thing. So the principal, what she's doing.
And Rabia, it was our children that had raised money for the children in Africa that were, you know, whose families were suffering from the AIDS epidemic.
Oh my, I never heard about this.
Yeah, they raised money. That's why he chose our school.
Wow. Wow. So we need, well, even those kids, I don't think they know. We just knew that he came, we saw the photos and that's it. So I see the principals doing some stuff in the school, but there is nothing for the community. So there is nothing, even us as parents, we don't know. It's just something during the class, like the school time from 9 to 3, and would be one class and, you know, inside the classrooms, there is nothing collectively. It's individually, and we don't want that. We want parents to be engaged. We want neighbors. We want community leaders. We want people to come. It's like one of the things that it's really well known in the community. The Nelson Mandela School. It's the only school even. It's the only school here in our community. So we need really to build like more stronger relationship between the school and the teachers as well. They need to know about the community.
Agreed.
So, I mean, just an idea, and I'm really passionate about this. I'm going to do it in the school, but I would love if our community members can support us on that, you know? And other working groups. Doesn't need to be only building, community building. Could be ED. It could be, you know, communication. They need to be there. Safety, they need to be there. You know how the bullying is so high in the school. It's a big demand. I'm moving my son this week to another school because of the bullying issue. It's really high. Kids are filming each other. You know, they post it on YouTube. So I guess safety, they need to be there. Those are grade 7 and 8. And tomorrow they're going to be in high school. They're going to be teenagers soon. And what's going to be the problem more at higher level. So, I mean, it's really multiple opportunities are there. And I wish to take an action, really urgent action.
It's just sad that it's January, you know, like it's January, middle of January, talking about Black History Month in February.
We gotta do things better for next year, Dini. But I think for this year, let's at least get started to get people together about this topic. And I really deeply appreciate your passion, Rabia. So I will help you make those connections with the school and see if there's any synergy. Our last speaker is going to be Gail, because it's around 8 o'clock, and then we're going to be winding our meeting down. Gail, go ahead.
Gail, you're on mute.
Sorry, whatever we plan, that we have Black people at the table planning, right? You can't be non-Black and planning for Black History Month. You have to have those people at the table with you to do that plan. I think it's a fabulous idea. As a community, definitely should be done. You know, a good person, and again, I think talking to the Ontario Black History Society is important. Sure, you can talk to people who are in Regent Park, but there are influential people outside of Regent Park. They're politicians. You know, is going to be honored by QP, right, and probably by somebody else, you know, for the work that she's been doing around body confidence and feminism. So there are some amazing examples in the Black community, also outside are important as well. I think that Sugar should be involved in all this planning. I think she has some history that she can certainly share as well.
Thank you, Gail. Okay, I think we're done at the meeting. But
Thank you, Gail, definitely.
Sugar, there's a lot of interest, and I think there's a lot of people who are also interested as much as Sugar in this. So I think we should try to find a space between this meeting and the next meeting to reconvene. So I'll have a conversation with Rabia.
Can I just mention something very quick, Walid, if you don't mind?
Go ahead, Rabia.
Thanks a lot, Gail. So I don't know if it was me who said that referring to me, but I'm organizing this because I'm the chair of the parent council. I'm brown, I'm not white, and I'm not Black. So I'm doing this passionate because myself, I have been marginalized somehow as a Muslim and immigrant wearing hijab. So, and English is not my first language. So I'm really passionate to support people who look like me. It doesn't need to be the skin color or something, but they've faced challenges. And I would love if someone stand up for me in Ramadan time and speak up for me and say, you know, meetings shouldn't be 6 o'clock. Maybe, you know, some things, you know, couldn't be during the day because they are fasting. And I would love if my friends who are Black to stand up later for me. So I'm organizing this because I'm passionate, and also I am a chair of the parent council. I'm responsible to do this. Yeah, thanks for your feedback.
Can I just say something? No, Robbie, definitely, it's okay. It's okay for, you know, for someone to take on a task of Black History Month, you know, or because you're the parent council chair at the school. But it's also important that when you're doing that, that you're working alongside, because you don't identify as Black, it's important that you work alongside with someone who identifies as Black or, you know, who is Black, because it's called Black History Month, right? And it's not Multiculturalism Month or, you know, any other month. Is Black History Month. So these kind of projects and events need to be led by Black people. They need to be led by Black people. Like, you know, that's just the reality. And you know, I'm not here to offend anybody or to make anybody feel, you know, left out. And, you know, we as Black people, we appreciate, you know, people wanting to, you know, get involved in, you know, Black History Month and support us in doing the work. But these events need to be led by Black people. And I think we have enough Black people in Regent Park that can do this.
Well, look,
and that can assist you.
We've got Tubman Street. You know, and one of the beautiful things I remember attending one of the events at Park School, and you know, Nelson Mandela Park. And each of the classrooms had done something featuring the Underground Railroad.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and they did a lot of education around the, you know, the slavery and what had happened, if, you know, how Canada had responded. You know, it was amazing. And it was like, you went from classroom to classroom. It was really amazing.
Awesome.
Kids were
Let's bring that back. Let's bring that connection back. So I see there's a lot of interest. Deanie, I hope you join us. Sugar, Gail, Rabia, thank you so much for that opportunity to work together on this. And let's get other people.
The funny thing that the parent council committee was all white supremacy last year and also this year though. So it's
we can change things. We can help.
Just me. So yes, I'm so glad I'm there so I can support my friends, and I hope to get support on the time I need the support. Thanks.
Thank you, Rabia. Thank you. Okay, everyone, I just want to say thank you for joining this meeting. Joel, is there any final things you wanted to add before we adjourn the meeting?
No, I think we've covered it. Thanks, Walid.
Excellent. Okay, I'm just going to stop the recording.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And please follow our social media platforms. For more information, check out our website.